and gentlemen, esteemed Bunburyists, welcome to Mad Artist Entertainment's production of The Importance of Being Earnest. I am Rick Harper. I'm the director of the show. I'm also the artistic director for Mad Artist Entertainment. I'd like to thank you so much for joining us tonight for this timeless masterpiece of wit and cucumber sandwiches. The team has had a wonderful time putting this all together for you. The cast you're going to see is absolutely amazing, totally top shelf talent. I'm so grateful to them that they're sharing this with us and with you tonight. The tech crew, as well, as you can see, you'll see these amazing costumes, you'll see the set that we've put together. You're in for a really, really great time. I do want to specifically thank Kit Marsh, who's playing Lady Bracknell tonight, for sharing so much of her furniture for the show tonight. I don't know what we would have done without her and her furniture. And I'd like to thank Georgia Ensemble Theater for once again sharing their space with us so that we have a venue to be able to deliver this for you. We will have a 15-minute intermission after Act 1. You'll know it's the end of Act 1 when the lights go down. The actors leave and the lights come up again. That's the cue. So people last night missed it. So just wanted to make sure everybody's on the same page, okay? We'll have concessions out in the lobby, drinks, little snacks and stuff. We also have our cast mailbox out there, so if you're a fan of any particular actor or the director, feel free to write a little note, put it in the mailbox, and we'll make sure it gets to them. In case of the emergency, there's an exit. There's another one back there, but this is probably the closest one for most everybody here. Thanks again for coming to our show. We only got one show left tomorrow, so if you really like the show, it's very important after tonight that you call your friends, your family, your therapist, your pharmacist, your baker, anybody else you might know. Post it on social media, let them know. Got one more show tomorrow at 2:30 to come see it. You're in for a real treat tonight. So thanks again for coming. When you leave tonight, please remember to drive safe, and remember that in matters of great importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you The Importance of Being Earnest.
As far as the piano is concerned, sentiment is my forte. I keep the science for life.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of the science of life, you've got cucumber sandwiches cut for Lady Bracknell.
Yes, sir.
By the way, lady, I see from your book that when Lord Tillman and Mr. William were dining with me last weekend that 8 bottles of champagne and a drink or two.
8 bottles and a pint, sir.
Why is it that at a bachelor's establishment, the servants invariably drink the champagne?
I ask merely for information.
I believe it to be the superior quality of the wines, sir. Often find that in married households, the champagne is rarely a first-rate brand.
Good heavens! Is marriage so demoralizing as that?
I believe it to be a pleasant state. Very little experience of it myself. I've only been married once, and that was in consequence of misunderstanding between myself and a young person.
I don't know that I'm much interested in your family life, Lane.
It's not very interesting, sir. I try not to think of it myself.
Very natural, I'm sure. That'll do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Lane's views on marriage seem somewhat lax. Brilliant. If the lower orders do not set us a good example, what on earth is the use of them? They seem to me as a class to have absolutely no sense of moral responsibility.
Mr. Earnest Worthing.
Oh, how are you, my dear Ernest? Good. Good, bring you up to town, dear sir.
Oh, pleasure, pleasure. What else brings one anywhere? Eating again as usual, I see, Algy.
I believe it's customary in good society to take some slight refreshment at 5 o'clock. Tell me, where have you been since last Thursday?
Oh, in the country.
What on earth do you do there?
When one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one is in the country, one amuses other people. It is excessively boring.
And who are these people that you amuse?
Oh, neighbours, neighbours.
Got nice neighbours in your part of Shropshire?
Oh, perfectly horrid. Never speak to one of them.
How immensely you must amuse them. By the way, Shropshire is your county, is it not?
Huh? Shropshire? Yes. Hello. Well, why all the cups? Why cucumber sandwiches? Why such reckless extravagance in one so young? Who's coming to tea?
Oh, merely Aunt Augusta and Gwendolyn.
How perfectly delightful.
Yes, it's all very well indeed, good boy, but I'm afraid that Aunt Augusta will not approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
My dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolyn is perfectly disgraceful. It's almost as bad as the way that Gwendolyn flirts with you.
I'm in love with Gwendolyn. I came into town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you'd come up for pleasure. I call that business.
How utterly unromantic you are.
I don't see anything romantic in proposing. It's very romantic to be in love, but definite proposal, not so much. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. What one may be accepted, one usually is, as I am told, and then the excitement is all over. If I ever get married, I'll certainly try to forget the fact.
I have no doubt about that. The divorce courts were made specifically for people whose memories are so curiously constituted.
Well, there's no use speculating on the matter. Divorces are made in heaven. Please do not touch the cucumber sandwiches. That order especially for Aunt Augusta.
You've been eating them all this time.
That's quite a different matter. She's my aunt. Have some bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is devoted to bread and butter.
Quite good bread and butter it is, too.
My dear fellow, you need not eat as if you're going to eat at all. You behave as if you're married to her already. You're not married to her, and I don't think you ever will be.
What makes you say that?
Well, in the first place, women never marry the men they flirt with. Girls don't think it's right.
No, that is nonsense.
It isn't. It's a great truth, and accounts for the extraordinary number of bachelors one sees all over the place. And in the second place, my good boy, I do not give my consent.
Your consent.
My dear fellow, Gwendolyn is my first cousin, and before I allow you to marry her, you have to clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What do you mean by Cecily, Algy? What do you mean by that name? I don't know anyone by the name of Cecily.
Ah, bring me that cigarette case Mr. Worthing left in the smoking room the last time he dined here.
Yes, sir.
You mean to say you've had my cigarette case this whole time? I wish to goodness you would have told me. I was writing frantic letters to Scotland Yard. I very nearly offered a large reward.
Well, I wish you would have offered one. I happen to be more than unusually hard up.
No use offering a large reward now that the thing has been found.
I think that's rather mean of you, Ernest, I must say. However, it makes no matter. For now that I look at the inscription inside, I find that the thing isn't yours after all.
Of course it's mine. You've seen me with it 100 times, and you have no right to read what is written inside. It's very ungentlemanly to read a private cigarette case.
No, it is absurd to have a hard and fast rule about what one should read and what one shouldn't. More than half of modern culture depends on what one shouldn't read.
I'm quite aware of the fact, and I don't propose we speak of modern culture. It's not the sort of thing one talks about in private. I simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone of the name of Cecily, and you said you didn't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you must know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes! Charming lady she is, too. Lives in Tunbridge Wells. Give it back to me, Algy.
Why does she call herself little Cecily, if she's your aunt who lives in Tunbridge Wells. From little Cecily, with a fondest love to her dear Uncle Doc.
What on earth is there in that? Some aunts are small, some aunts are not small. That is something that was specifically an aunt must be allowed to decide for herself. You seem to think that all aunts should be like your aunt, which is absurd. For goodness sake, give me back my cigarette
Yes,
case.
but why does your aunt call you her uncle? From little Cecily, with her fondest love to her dear Uncle Jack. There's no objection, I admit, old boy, to an aunt being a small aunt. But why? An aunt, no matter what size she may be, should call her own nephew her own uncle. I can't quite make out. And besides, your name isn't Jack at all. It's Ernest.
It isn't Ernest, it's Jack.
You always told me it was Ernest. I've introduced you to everyone as Ernest. You answer to the name of Ernest. You look as if your name was Ernest. It's perfectly absurd that your name isn't Ernest. It's disgraceful indeed. It's on one of your business cards. You know that. Mr. Ernest Worthing, B4 the Albany. I'll keep this as proof that your name is Ernest if you ever attempt to deny it to me, or to Gwendolyn, or to anyone else.
Well, my name is Ernest in town and Jack in the country, and the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes, but that does not account for the fact that your small Aunt Cecily calls you her dear uncle. Come on, old boy. You better have the thing out at once.
My dear Algy, you speak exactly as if you were a dentist. It's very vulgar to speak like a dentist when one isn't a dentist. It produces a false impression.
But that's exactly what dentists do. Now, go on. Tell me the whole thing. I may remind you that I've always suspected you of being a confirmed and secret Bunburyist. And right now, I'm quite sure.
Bunbury's? What on earth do you mean by Bunbury's?
I'll reveal to you the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you're kind enough to inform me why you are Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
Here it is. Now, produce your explanation. Pray, make it improbable.
My dear fellow, there's nothing improbable about my explanation at all. The old Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a boy, made me in his will guardian to his grandmother, Miss Cecily Cardew. Cecily, who refers to me as uncle out of motives of respect that you could not possibly understand, lives with me at my house in the country, under the charge of her esteemed governess, Miss Prism.
And where is that place in the country, dear boy?
Oh, that is nothing to you, dear boy. You are not going to be invited. I will tell you candidly, though, that it is not in Shropshire.
I suspected nonetheless. I Bunburied all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions. Now, go on. Why are you Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear Algy, I don't know whether or not you're going to be able to understand my true motives. You're hardly serious enough. When one is placed in the position of guardian, one must adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. It's one's duty to do so. And seeing as a high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce very much to either one's health or one's happiness, in order to get up in the town, I have always pretended to have a younger brother by the name of Earnest, who lives in the Albany and who gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That, my dear Algy, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is rarely pure and never simple. Modern life would be quite tedious if it were either, and modern literature a complete impossibility.
That wouldn't be at all a bad thing.
Literary criticism is not your forte, my dear fellow. Don't try it. You should leave that to people who haven't been at a university and do it so well in the daily papers. What you really are is a Bunburyist. In fact, I was quite right in saying that you are a Bunburyist, because you are one of the most advanced Bunburyists I know.
What on earth do you mean by Bunbury?
You have invented a very useful younger brother called Ernest in order that you may be able to go to town as often as you like. I have invented a perfectly invaluable invalid called Bunbury in order that I may be able to go into the country whenever I choose. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable to me. If it wasn't for Bunbury's extraordinary bad health, for instance, I wouldn't be able to dine with you tonight at Willis's, for I've really been engaged with Aunt Augusta for more than a week.
I haven't asked you to dine with me anywhere tonight.
I know. you're absurdly careless about sending out invitations. Nothing annoys me more than not receiving invitations.
You would best well go dine with your Aunt Augusta.
I haven't the intention of doing anything of the kind. To begin with, I dine there on Monday, and once a week is quite enough to dine with one's own relatives. And in the second place, I know very well whom she will place me with if I go there tonight. Either no women at all, or two, I'm always treated as a member of the family.
In the third place,
She's going to set me down next to dear Mary Farquhar, who always flirts with her own husband across the dinner table. It's not even pleasant. Indeed, it's not even decent. And that sort of thing is immensely on the increase. The amount of women in London who flirt with their own husbands is perfectly scandalous. It looks so bad. It's simply washing one's own clean linen in public. And besides, now that I know for you to be a Bunburyist, I naturally want to talk to you about Bunburying. I want to tell you the rules.
I am not a Bunburyist at all. If Gwendolyn accepts me, I plan to kill my brother. In fact, I might kill him anyway. Cecily's been a little too interested in him. It's rather a bore. So I'm going to get rid of my brother. And I suggest you do the same with your invalid friend with the absurd name.
Nothing will induce me to part with Bunbury. If you ever get married, which seems to me extremely problematic, you'll be glad to know Bunbury. A man who marries without knowing Bunbury has a very tedious time of it.
Good heavens. If I were to marry a kind girl like Gwendolyn, I most certainly would not want to know Bunbury.
Then your wife will. My dear fellow, you don't seem to understand that in married life 3 is company and 2 is none.
That, my dear young friend, is the exact theory that the corrupt French drummers have been propounding for the last 50 years.
Yes, and that the happy English household is proven in half the time.
Goodness sakes, don't try to be cynical, Algy. It's perfectly easy to be cynical.
My dear fellow, it isn't easy to be anything nowadays. There's so much beastly competition about.
that must be Aunt Augusta.
Only creditors or relatives ever ring in that Wagnerian manner. Now, if I can get her out of the way for 10 minutes so that you might have the opportunity of proposing to Gwendolyn, may I dine with you tonight at Willis's?
I suppose so, if you want to.
Yes, but you must be serious about it. I hate it when people are never serious about meals. It's so shallow of them.
Lady Bracknell and Miss Fairfax.
Good afternoon, dear Algernon. I hope you are behaving quite well.
I'm feeling very well, Aunt Augusta.
Not quite the same thing. In fact, the two rarely go together.
Dear me, you are smart.
I'm always smart. Aren't I, Mr. Worthing?
You're quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
I hope I'm not that. We leave no room for developments, and I intend to develop in many directions.
I'm sorry if we're a little bit late, Algernon, but I had to call on dear Lady Horbury. I hadn't been there since her poor husband's death. I mean, I'd never seen a woman so altered. She looks quite 20 years younger. Oh, and now I will have a cup of tea and one of those nice cucumber sandwiches that you promised me.
Certainly, Aunt Augusta.
Gwendolyn, won't you come and sit here?
Thanks, Mamma. Quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens! Lady! Why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them specially.
There were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down there twice.
No cucumbers.
No, sir, not even for ready money.
That will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I am greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, about there being no cucumbers, not even for ready money.
That's all right. It really doesn't matter. I had some crumpets at Lady Horbury's. Who appears to be living for pleasure now.
I hear her hair has turned quite gold with grief.
Well, it has changed color, but from what cause I, of course, cannot say. Oh, now I have a delightful surprise for you, Algernon. I am going to send you down with dear Mary Farquhar this evening. Oh, she has such a lovely personality. Oh, and so attentive to her husband. That's really delightful to watch.
I'm very afraid, Aunt Augusta, that I'm going to have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight after all.
Oh, well, Algernon, I should hope not. I mean, that would put my party completely out, and your uncle would have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he's accustomed to that.
This great war, and I need hardly say a terrible disappointment to me. The fact is, I just received a telegram from my poor friend Humphrey, who seems to be quite ill again. I think I should be with him.
It seems strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Oh, yes. Poor Bunbury is a dreadful invalid.
Well, Algernon, I wish Mr. Bunbury would make up his mind whether he's going to live or die. All of this shilly-shallying with the question is absurd. Nor do I think that one should continue to feel the sympathy for invalids. I think it quite morbid. So, I wish that you would ask Mr. Bunbury from me to please refrain from having a setback on Saturday. You know, I depend upon you, Algernon, you know, to arrange my music for me. I mean, it is, after all, my last reception, and, well, one wants something that will encourage, you know, people to have a conversation. You know, it is the end of the season after all, and everyone has said whatever it was that they wanted to say, which in most cases was probably not much.
I'll speak to Bunbury, Aunt Augusta, if he is still conscious, that is. And I can promise you he'll be quite all right by Saturday. Of course, music. See, the music is such a great difficulty. If one plays good music, people don't listen. And if one plays bad music, people don't talk. But I'll go over the program I've drawn out for the evening, if you will kindly follow me into the next room for a moment.
Oh, thank you very much, Algernon. That's very thoughtful of you. I am sure the program will be delightful. Now, French music I cannot allow. People seem to think it's improper and, well, they either look shocked, which is vulgar, or laugh, which is worse. Oh, but I think German sounds a remarkably beautiful language, and indeed I believe is so. Gwendolen, you will accompany me.
Certainly, Mamma.
Charming day we're having, Miss Fairfax.
Pray don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I feel quite certain they mean something else. And that makes me nervous.
I am talking about something else.
I thought so. In fact, I am never wrong.
And I would like to be allowed to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary absence.
Well, I'd certainly advise her to do so. Ma has a way of coming back suddenly into a room, which I often have to speak to her about.
When, ever since I met you, I have admired you more than any woman I've ever met before I met you.
Yes, I'm quite aware of the fact. And I often wish that the public knew it had been a bit more demonstrative. You see, for me, you've always held an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live, as I'm sure you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals. This fact is constantly mentioned in more expensive monthly magazines, and has reached the provincial pulpit, so I've heard. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name Earnest. There's just something about that name that inspires absolute confidence. Indeed, when Algernon first mentioned he had a friend called Earnest, I knew I was destined to love him.
You really love me, Gwendolyn.
Passionately.
Darling, you don't know how happy you've made me.
My own Earnest.
But you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Earnest.
But your name is Earnest.
Yes, I know it is. But assuming it wasn't, you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me then.
Oh, you're speaking of a metaphysical speculation. Well, like all metaphysical speculations, very little reference at all to the actual facts of real life as we know them.
To speak quite candidly with you, darling, I don't really like the name of Earnest. I don't think it suits me at all.
But it suits you perfectly. It's a divine name. It has music of its own. It produces vibrations.
Well, surely, darling, there are lots of other nicer names out there. I think, Jack, for instance, a very charming name.
Jack? No. There's very little music, if any, at all in the name Jack. It does not thrill, produces no vibrations. And I've known several Jacks. All of them, without exception, have been more than usually plain. And besides, Jack is a notorious domesticity for John. And I pity anyone who's married to a man called John. She would probably never be allowed to know the entrancing pleasure of a single moment's solitude. Now, the other really safe name is Earnest.
Gwendolyn, I must get christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once. There is no time to lose.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely you know I adore you, and you've led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, that you're not completely indifferent to me.
Well, I adore you, but you haven't proposed. Nothing at all has been said about marriage. The subject hasn't even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
Well, I certainly think it'd be an admirable opportunity. And to spare you impossible disappointment, Mr. Worthing, I think it only fair to tell you, quite frankly, beforehand, I'm fully determined to accept you.
Gwendolyn!
Yes, Mr. Worthing, what have you got to say to me?
You know what it is I have to say to you.
Yes, but you don't say it.
Gwendolyn, will you marry me?
Oh, of course, darling. How long have you been about it? You have very little experience in how to propose.
Gwendolyn, you're the only girl in the world I've ever loved.
Yes, but men often propose just for practice. Gerald does it all the time. All my girlfriends tell me. But what wonderfully blue eyes you have, Ernest. Oh, they're quite blue. I hope you always look at me just like that, especially when there's other people present.
Mr. Worthing, rise, sir, from that semi-recumbent position. It's most indecorous.
Mamma, I must beg you to retire. This is no place for you. Besides, Mr. Worthing hasn't quite finished yet.
Finished what, may I ask?
I'm engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Pardon me, you have no such thing. When you do become engaged to someone, either I or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact. Engagement should come upon a young girl as a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant, as the case may be. It is certainly nothing that she should be allowed to arrange for herself. Now, I have some questions to put to you, Mr. Worthing, and while I am making these inquiries, Gwendolyn, you will wait below for me in the carriage.
Mamma.
In the carriage, Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, the carriage.
Yes, Mamma.
You may have a seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
I am bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men. Although I have the same list as the dear Duchess of Bolton has. We work together, in fact. However, I am quite ready to enter your name, should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Why, yes, I must admit that I do smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. Too many idle young men in London as it is. How old are you?
29.
Oh, a very good age to be married at. I have always been of the opinion that a man who's about to marry should know either everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I am pleased to hear it. I do not agree with anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it, and the bloom is gone. Oh, this whole theory of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England, at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. If it did, then it would probably be a serious danger to the upper classes and lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. What is your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or investments?
In investments, chiefly.
Well, that is satisfactory. What between the duties expected of one during one's lifetime and the duties exacted from one after one's death, land has ceased to be either a profit or a pleasure. It gives one position and prevents one from keeping it up. That's all that can be said of land.
I have a country house with some land attached to it, of course, about 1,500 acres, but I don't rely on that for my income. In fact, I think the poachers are the only ones that make any use of it.
A country house. Well, how many bedrooms? Oh, never mind. That can all be cleared up afterwards. You have a townhouse, I hope. I mean, a girl with a simple, unspoiled nature such as Gwendolyn could hardly be expected to live in the country.
I own a house in Belgrave Square, but it is let by the year to a Lady Bloxham. I can get it back with 6 months' notice.
Lady Bloxham? I don't know her.
She goes about quite little. She's a woman of considerably advanced years.
Well, nowadays, that is no guarantee of respectability of character. What number Belgrave Square?
149.
Oh, the unfashionable side. I knew there was something. Well, that can be easily altered.
The fashion or the side?
Both, if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
I'm afraid I have none. I'm a liberal unionist.
Oh, okay. Well, they count as Tories. Yes, they dine with us, or come in the evening at any rate. Now to minor matters. Are both your parents living?
I'm afraid I've lost both of my parents.
To lose one parent might be regarded as a misfortune, but to lose both looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He was evidently a man of some wealth. Was he born into what the radical papers call the purple of commerce, or did he arise from the ranks of the aristocracy?
I'm sorry to say, Lady Bracknell, that I don't know. I said that I had lost both of my parents, but it would be nearer to the truth to say that they seem to have lost me. I don't really know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
The old Mr. Thomas Carter, a very kind and charitable gentleman, found me and gave me the name of Worthing, because he happened to have a first-class ticket to Worthing in his pocket at the time. But Worthing is a place in Sussex. It's a seaside resort.
And where did this kindly gentleman with a first-class ticket to a seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
A handbag?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I was in a handbag. A somewhat large, black, leather handbag with handles to it. A very ordinary handbag, in fact.
And where did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew find this ordinary handbag?
In the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him in mistake of his own.
The cloakroom at Victoria Station.
Yes, the Brighton line.
The line is immaterial. Mr. Worthing, I am somewhat surprised and bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, or in any event bred, in a cloakroom, in a handbag, whether it had handles or not, seems to me to show a contempt for the ordinary decencies of modern family life. I mean, really, I can't imagine. I mean, really, do you suppose that
Lady
being
Bracknell.
born in a handbag would be at all acceptable to Lord Bracknell and myself?
Lady Bracknell, I would ask what you would have me do. I need hardly say I would do anything in the world for Gwendolyn's happiness.
Well, I would advise you, sir, to try and acquire some parents as soon as possible. And to make a definite effort to secure one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
I don't see how I can possibly manage to do that, Lady Bracknell. I could produce the handbag at any moment. It's in my dressing room at home. I really think that should be enough for you.
Me, sir? What has it to do with me? Don't you imagine that I or Lord Bracknell would allow our only daughter, a girl that we have raised with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom? Form an alliance with a parcel? Good day, Mr. Worthing.
Good day, Lady Bracknell. Would you stop playing that ghastly tune, Algie? How idiotic you are!
Did it go off all right, old boy?
Oh, you don't mean to say that Gwendolyn refused you? I know it is a way she has. She's always refusing people. I think it's most ill-natured of her.
Gwendolyn is as right as a trivet. As far as she is concerned, we are engaged. Her mother, on the other hand, is perfectly unbearable. I've never seen such a gorgon. I actually don't know what a gorgon is like. But I am sure that Lady Bracknell is one. In any case, she's a monster without being a myth, which I find rather unfair. I beg your pardon, Algie. I suppose I shouldn't be speaking of your own aunt like this in front of you.
My dear boy. I love hearing my relations abused. It's the only thing that makes me put up with them at all. Relations are simply a tedious pack of people that haven't the remotest instinct of how to live, nor the smallest idea of when to die.
That is nonsense.
It isn't.
Well, I won't argue with you about the matter. You always want to argue about the things.
Well, that is what things are made for.
Upon my word, if I thought that, I'd shoot myself. You don't think, Algie, that Gwendolyn will become anything like her mother in 150 years?
All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That is his.
Is that clever?
It's perfectly phrased, and quite as true as anything in civilized life should be.
I am sick to death of cleverness. Everyone is clever nowadays. You can't go anywhere without meeting clever people. The thing has become an absolute public nuisance. I wish to goodness we still had a few fools left.
Oh, we have.
I should extremely like to meet them. What do they talk about?
The fools? Oh, they talk about the clever people, of course.
What fools?
By the way, did you tell Gwendolyn the truth about your being Earnest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear Algie, the truth is not something that one says to a kind, sweet, refined girl. What extraordinary ideas you have about the ways to behave to a woman.
The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her if she's pretty and to someone else if she's plain.
That is nonsense.
What about your brother? What about the profligate Earnest?
Well, by the end of the week, I'll have got rid of him. I'll say he died in Paris of apoplexy. Lots of people die of apoplexy nowadays, and quite suddenly too, don't they?
Yes. But it is hereditary, my dear fellow. You know, the sort of thing that runs in families. You'd better much say a severe chill.
And you're sure a severe chill isn't hereditary or anything of the kind?
Of course it isn't.
Very well then. My poor brother Ernest is carried away suddenly in Paris by a severe chill. That gets rid of him.
But I thought you said that Miss Cardew was a little bit too much interested in your poor brother Ernest. Won't she feel his loss a great deal?
That is of no concern. Cecily is not a silly, romantic girl. I'm happy to report that she has a capital appetite, goes long walks, and pays no attention at all to her lessons.
I think I'd like to see Cecily.
I shall take very close care to make sure you never do. She's excessively pretty and only just 18.
Have you told Gwendolyn yet that you have an excessively pretty ward who's only just 18?
Oh, you don't just blurt things out like that to people, Algie. Gwendolyn and Cecily are perfectly certain to be the greatest of friends. I'll bet you anything you like that within a half an hour of the meeting, they'll be calling each other sister.
Women only do that after they called each other a lot of other things first. My dear boy, if we really want to get a good table tonight at Willis's, we must go and dress. Did you know it's nearly 7?
It is always nearly 7.
Well, I'm hungry.
I've never known you when you weren't.
Well, what shall we do after dinner? Go to a theater?
Oh no, I hate listening.
Oh, well, might we go to the club then?
Oh, no, I loathe talking.
Might we trot round to the Empire of dear boy?
Oh no, I can't bear looking at things. It is so silly.
Then what shall we do?
Nothing.
It's awfully hard work doing nothing. However, I do not mind hard work if there's no definite object of any kind.
Miss Fairfax.
My
Gwendolyn,
own one.
upon my word!
Algie, kindly turn your back. I have something very particular to say to Mr. Worthing.
Really, Gwendolyn, I do not think I can allow this sort of thing at all.
Really, Algie? You always adopt a strictly immoral attitude towards life, but you're not quite old enough to do that. Ernest, we may never be married. By the look on Mamma's face, I fear we never shall. So few parents these days pay any attention to what their children say to them. The old-fashioned respect for the young is fast dying out. Whatever influence I had on Mamma, I lost at the age of 3. But though she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, and I may marry someone else, and very often, there's nothing she could ever possibly do that would alter my eternal devotion to you.
Gwendolyn, darling.
The story of your romantic origin, as related to me by Mamma with unpleasing comments, has naturally stirred the deeper fibers of my nature. And your Christian name holds an irresistible fascination. The simplicity of your character makes you exquisitely incomprehensible to me. Now, your town address at the Albany I have, but what is your address in the country?
The Manor House, Walton, Hertfordshire.
There's a good postal service, I suppose? It may be necessary to do something desperate. That will require serious consideration. I will communicate with you daily.
My own one.
How long do you remain in town?
Till Monday.
Good. Algie, you may turn around now.
Thanks, I've turned around already.
You may also ring the bell.
Well, you simply must let me walk you down to your carriage at least. Oh, darling.
Certainly.
I will see Miss Fairfax out.
Yes, sir.
A glass of sherry, Lane.
Yes, sir.
Lane, tomorrow, I'm going bunburying.
Yes, sir.
I probably should not be back till Monday. You can pack my dress clothes, the smoking jacket, and all the Bunbury suits.
Yes, sir.
I hope tomorrow will be a fine day, Lane.
Never is, sir.
Wayne, you're a perfect pessimist.
I do my best to give satisfaction, sir.
Now there is an intelligent, sensible woman, the only woman in the world I could ever care about. What are you so amused about?
Oh, I'm just anxious about poor Mr. Bunbury, that's all.
If you don't take care, this Bunbury of yours is going to get you into a very serious scrape someday, and soon.
I love scrapes. They're the only things that are never serious.
That is nonsense. You never speak anything but nonsense.
Nobody ever does.
Cecily? Cecily? Surely such a utilitarian occupation as the watering of flowers is rather Morton's duty than yours? Especially at a moment when intellectual pleasures await you. Your German grammar is on the table. Pray open it, page 15.
But I don't like German. It isn't at all a becoming language. I know perfectly well that I look quite plain after my German lesson.
Child, you know your guardian is anxious that you improve yourself in every way. He laid particular stress on your German as he was leaving for town yesterday. Indeed, he always lays stress on your German as he's leaving for town.
Uncle Jack is so very serious. Sometimes he's so serious, I think he cannot be quite well.
Your guardian enjoys the best of health, and his gravity of demeanour is to be especially commended in one so comparatively young as he is. I now know him with the highest sense of duty and responsibility.
I suppose that is why he often looks a little bored when we three are together.
Cecily, I'm surprised at you. Mr. Worley has many troubles in his life. Idle merriment and triviality will be out of place in this conversation. You must remember his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
I wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometimes. We might have a good influence over him, Miss Prism. I'm sure you certainly would. You know German and geology and things of that kind influence a man very much.
I do not think that even I could produce any effect on a character who, by his own brother's admission, is irretrievably weak and fascinating. Indeed, I am not sure I would desire to reclaim him. I'm not in favor of this modern mania for turning bad people into good people at a moment's notice. As a man sows, so let him reap. You must put away your diary, Cecily. I don't see why you should keep a diary at all.
I keep a diary in order to enter all the wonderful secrets of my life. If I did not write them down, I should probably forget all about them.
Memory, dear Cecily, is the diary that we all carry about with us.
Yes, but it usually chronicles the things that have never happened and couldn't possibly have happened. I believe that memory is responsible for nearly all the 3-volume novels that Beauty sends us.
Do not speak slightingly of the 3-volume novel, Cecily. I wrote one myself in early days.
Did you really, Miss Prism? Well, how wonderfully clever you are! I hope it did not end happily. I don't like novels that end happily. They depress me so much.
The good ended happily and the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means.
I suppose so, but it seems very unfair. Was your novel ever published?
Alas, no. The manuscript, unfortunately, was abandoned. I use the word in the sense of lost or mislaid. To your work, child. These speculations are profitless.
But I see dear Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
This is indeed a pleasure.
And how are we this morning? Miss Prism, you are, I trust, well?
Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. I think it would do her so much good to have a short stroll in the park with you, Dr. Chasuble.
Cecily, Cecily. I've not mentioned anything about a headache.
No, dear Miss Prism, I know that. But I felt instinctively that you had a headache. Indeed, I was thinking about that and not about my German lesson when the rector came in.
I hope, Cecily, you are not inattentive.
Oh, I'm afraid I am.
Well, that is strange. Were I fortunate enough to be Miss Prism's pupil, I would hang upon her lips. Oh, I spoke metaphorically. My metaphor was drawn from bees. Mr. Worthing, I suppose, has not returned from town yet.
We do not expect him till Monday afternoon.
Ah, yes. He usually likes to spend his Sundays in London. He's not one of those whose sole aim is enjoyment, as by all accounts that unfortunate young man, his brother, seems to be. But I must not disturb Nigeria and her pupil any longer.
Julia, my name is Letitia, Doctor.
A classical allusion, Mary, drawn from the pagan authors. Well, I shall see you both, no doubt, at evensong.
I think, dear Doctor, I will have a stroll with you. I find I have a headache after all, and a walk might do it good.
With pleasure, Miss Prism, with pleasure. Oh, we might go as far as the schools and back.
Delightful. Cecily, you will read your political economy in my absence. The chapter on the fall of the rupee you may omit. It is rather too sensational. Even these metallic problems have their melodramatic side.
Horrid political economy. And horrid geography. Horrid, horrid German.
Mr. Ernest Worthing is to go to the station. He's brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, before the hour you asked Uncle Jack's brother. Did you tell him Mr. Worthing was in town?
Yes, miss. He seemed rather disappointed. I told him that you and Miss Prism were in the garden. He said he was anxious to speak to you privately for a moment.
Asked Mr. Ernest Worthing to come here. I suppose you better talk to the housekeeper about a room for him.
Yes, miss.
I've never met a really wicked person before. Oh, I feel rather frightened. I'm so afraid he will look just like everyone else.
You are my little cousin Cecily, I'm sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I'm not little. In fact, I believe I'm more than usually tall for my age. But I am your cousin Cecily. You, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Earnest. My wicked cousin Earnest.
Oh, I'm not really that wicked at all, cousin Cecily. You mustn't think I'm wicked.
If you had not, then you've certainly been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. I hope you've not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked, being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Well, I suppose I have been rather reckless.
I'm glad to hear
And
it.
in fact, now that you mention the subject, I have been very bad in my own small way.
I don't think you should be so proud of that. Though I'm sure it must have been very pleasant.
It is much pleasanter being here with you.
I can't understand how you're here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back till Monday afternoon.
Well, that is a great disappointment. I'm obliged to go up on the first train Monday morning. I have a business appointment I am anxious to miss.
Well, couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
Oh, no, the appointment is in London.
Well, I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. But still, I think you better wait till Uncle Jack arrives. I know he wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
About my what?
You're emigrating? He's gone up to buy your outfit.
I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all.
Well, I don't think you will require neckties. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
Well, he said at dinner on Wednesday night that you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Well, the accounts I've received of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid I am not that. But that is why I wish you to reform me. You might make it your mission if you do not mind, cousin Cecily.
I'm afraid I've no time this afternoon.
Well, would you mind my performing myself this afternoon?
It is rather
quixotic of you, but I think you should try.
I will. I'm feeling better already.
Oh, you're looking a little worse.
That is because I am hungry.
How thoughtless of me. I should have remembered that when one is going to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Won't you come in?
Thank you, but might I have a buttonhole first? I never have much of an appetite unless I have a buttonhole first.
A yellow rose.
No, I'd sooner take a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, Cousin Sesame.
I don't think it can be right for you to talk to me like that. Miss Prism never says such things to me.
Then Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady. Not the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Prism says all good looks are snare.
They're a snare that any sensible man would love to be caught in.
Oh. I don't think I would care to catch a sensible man. I should have known to talk to him about.
You are so much alone, dear Dr. Chaswell. You should get married. A misanthrope I can understand, but a womanthrope, never.
Believe me, I do not deserve so neologistic a phrase. The precept, as well as the practice of the primitive church, was distinctly against matrimony.
That is obviously the reason why the primitive church has not lasted up to the present day. And you do not seem to realize, dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public temptation. Men should be more careful. It is very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive, except to his wife.
And often I've been told, not even to her.
That depends on the intellectual sympathies of the woman. Maturity can always be depended on. Rightness can be trusted. Young women are green.
Ooh.
I spoke horticulturally. My metaphor was drawn from fruits. But where is Cecily?
Perhaps she followed us to the schools.
Mr.
Mr. Worthing!
This is indeed a surprise. We did not look for you till Monday afternoon.
I returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chaswell, I hope you are well. Dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe does not betoken some terrible calamity. My brother,
More shameful deaths and extravagance.
still leading his life of pleasure. Dead! Your brother Earnest dead! Quite dead.
What a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it.
Mr. Worthing, I offer you my sincere condolence. You have at least the consolation of knowing you are always the most generous and forgiving of brothers. Poor Earnest. He had his faults, but it is a sad, sad blow. Very sad indeed. Were you with him in the end? No, he died abroad. In Paris, actually. I received a telegram from the manager of the Grand Hotel last night. Was the cause of death mentioned? A severe chill, it would seem.
And that sows. So let him reap.
Charity, dear Miss Prism, charity. None of us are perfect. Well, I myself am peculiarly susceptible to drafts. Will the interment take place here? No. He seems to have expressed a desire to be buried in Paris. In Paris? Well, I fear that hardly points to any very serious state of mind at the last. You would no doubt wish for me to make some slight allusion to this terrible domestic affliction next Sunday. Well, my sermon on the meaning of the manna in the wilderness can be adapted to almost any occasion, joyful or, as in the present case, distressing. Well, I preached it at harvest celebrations, christenings, confirmations, on days of humiliation, and festal days. The last time I delivered it was in the cathedral, as a charity sermon on behalf of the Society for the Prevention of Discontent among the Upper Orders. The bishop, who was present, was much struck by some of the analogies I drew.
Ah, that reminds me. You mentioned christenings, I believe, good doctor. I suppose you know how to christen very well? I mean, you are continually christening, aren't you?
It is, I regret to say, one of the rector's most constant duties in this parish. I've often spoken to the poorer classes on the subject, but they don't seem to know what crypt is.
But is there a particular infant in whom you are interested, Mr. Worthing? Your brother was, I believe, unmarried, was he not?
Oh, yes.
People who live entirely for pleasure usually are.
But this is not for any child, dear doctor. No, I'm very fond of children. Now, the fact of the matter is, I would like to be christened myself this afternoon, if you have nothing better to do.
But surely, Mr. Worthing, you have been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it.
But have you any grave doubts on the subject?
I certainly intend to have. But that is, of course, unless you think the thing would bother you at all, or if you think I'm a little too old now.
Not at all. The sprinkling and indeed the immersion of adults is a perfectly canonical practice.
Immersion?
Oh, you need have no apprehensions. Sprinkling is all that is necessary, or indeed, I think, advisable. Our weather is so changeable. At what hour would you wish for the ceremony performed?
No, I might trot round about 5, if that would do.
Perfectly. In fact, I have 2 similar ceremonies to perform at the same time. A case of twins that occurred recently in one of the outlying cottages here on your own estate. Poor Jenkins the carter, a most hard-working man.
I don't think it would be much fun to be christened alongside other babies. I would find it childish. Would 5:30 do?
Admirably. And now, dear Mr. Worthing, I will not intrude any longer into a house of sorrow. I would merely beg for you not to be too much bowed down by grief. What seem to us as bitter trials are often blessings in disguise.
This seems to me to be a blessing of an extremely obvious kind.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I'm so pleased to see you! Oh, what horrid clothes you got on. Do go and change them, dear.
My child.
What is the matter, Uncle Jack? Do you look happy? You look as if you had toothache. And I've got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother.
Who?
Your brother, Ernest? He went out half an hour ago.
Oh, that is absurd. I haven't got a brother.
Don't say that. However badly he may have behaved to you in the past, he is still your brother. And you couldn't be so heartless as to disown him. I'll tell him to come out, and you will shake hands with him. Won't you, Uncle Jack?
Well, these are very joyful tidings.
After we have all been resigned to his loss, his sudden return seems to me peculiarly distressing.
My brother's in the dining room. I don't know what any of this means. It's perfectly absurd. Oh, good heavens!
Brother John, I've come down from town to tell you how terribly sorry I am for putting you through so much trouble, and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you are not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing could induce me to take his hand. I find his coming down here perfectly disgraceful. He knows very well why.
Uncle Jack! Do be nice! You know, there is some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury. And surely there must be much good in one who is kind to an invalid, who leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
Bunbury? So he's been speaking to you of Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he's told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Bunbury? But I won't have him speak to you of Bunbury or of anything else. It's enough to drive one perfectly frantic.
Of course, I know all the faults were my own. However, I find Brother John's coldness to me particularly painful. I expected a more enthusiastic welcome, seeing as this is the first time I've ever been allowed to come here.
Uncle Jack, if you do not shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me!
Never, never, never!
There it goes. But it'll be the last time I ever do it.
Is it not to see so perfect a reconciliation? Why think we might leave the two brothers together?
Cecily, you will come with us.
Certainly, Miss Prism. My little task of reconciliation is over.
You have done a beautiful action today, dear child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I feel very happy.
Algie, you young scoundrel, you must be out of here at once. I allow no Bunbury in here.
I put Mr. Earnest things in the room next to yours, sir. I suppose that is all right.
What?
Mr. Ernest's luggage. Unpacked it and placed it in the room next to your own.
His luggage.
Yes, sir. 3 portmanteau, a dressing case, 2 hot boxes, and a rather large lunch basket.
I'm afraid I cannot stay for more than a week this time.
Merriman, order the dog cart at once. Mr. Earnest has been suddenly called back into town.
Yes, sir. What a fearful liar you are, Jack. I haven't been called back to town at all.
Yes, you have.
I haven't heard anyone call me.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duties as a gentleman have never interfered with my pleasures in the smallest degree.
I can quite see that.
Well, Cecily is a darling.
Do not talk of Miss Cardew in that way. I don't like it.
But I don't like your clothes. You look perfectly ridiculous in them. Why on earth don't you go up and change? I must say, dear boy, it's rather childish to be in deep mourning for a man who's actually going to be staying with you in your house for a whole week as a guest.
You will not be staying with me for a week as a guest or anything else. You are going to make the 4-5 train.
I certainly won't leave you so long as you're in mourning. It would be most unfriendly. While we're in mourning, I'm sure you'll stay with me.
Well, will you go if I change my clothes?
Yes. Do not take too long. Never saw anyone take so long to dress and with such little result.
Well, at the very least, I'm not overdressed, as you constantly are.
If I am occasionally a little overdressed, I always make up for it by being immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous. Your conduct an outrage, and your presence in my garden utterly absurd. However, you simply must make the 4-5 train, and I hope you have a pleasant trip back into town. This Bunbury, as you call it, has not been a great success for you.
I think it's been a great success. I'm in love with Cecily, and that's everything. However, I must make arrangements to see her again for another Bunbury before I go.
There she is.
Oh, I merely came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He's gone to order the dog cart for me.
Oh, is he going to take you for a nice drive?
Yeah, he's going to send me away.
Then have we got to part?
I'm afraid so. It is a very painful parting indeed.
It is always painful to part from people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity, but even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced, it's almost unbearable.
Thank you.
Dog cart's out the door, sir.
If you wait, Merriman, for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss.
Cecily, I hope I do not offend you if I should speak quite openly and frankly that I find you to be the
visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you'll allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you really keep a diary? I'd give anything to read it, may I?
Oh, no. You see, it is simply a very young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you will order a copy. But pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have just reached absolute John. You can go on, I'm quite ready for more. Oh, don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell cough.
Cecily, ever since I laid my eyes upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I've dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, and hopelessly.
I don't think that you should tell me that you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Cecily!
Our cart is waiting, sir. Tell it to come round next week, at the same hour.
Next week at the same hour!
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed to know that you were staying on till next week, at the same hour.
I don't care about Jack. I don't care of anyone in the whole world but you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
Well, of course, silly boy. But we've been engaged for the past 3 months.
For the last 3 months.
Yes, it'll be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
My darling Cecily, but how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, well, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And, of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him after all. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Oh, darling, when was our engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to settle the matter one way or the other. And after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree here. Oh, and the next day, I bought this little ring in your name. And this little bangle with the true lover's knot I promised you always to wear.
Did I get you this? It's very pretty, isn't it?
Yes, you've wonderfully good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given you for leading such a bad life. Oh, and this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
But my own sweet Cecily, I've never written you any letters.
And you need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote always, 3 times a week, sometimes oftener.
Do let me read them, Cecily, may I?
I couldn't possibly. They make you far too conceited. The 3 you wrote me after I'd broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Well, of course it was. On March 22nd. You can see the entry if you like. Today I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
But what had I done? I had done nothing at all. Cecily, I'm greatly pained to hear that you broke off our engagement, particularly when the weather was so charming.
It would hardly have been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
What a perfect angel you are.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair grows naturally. Does it?
Yes, darling. With a little help from others.
I am so glad.
You'll never break off our engagement again, will you, Cecily?
I don't think I could break it off, now that I've actually met you. Besides, of course, there is the question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling. But it has always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name is Ernest. There's something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. Oh, I pity any poor married woman whose husband's name is not Ernest.
But my own sweet, loving Cecily, do you really mean to say you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Ernest?
But what name?
Any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
I don't like Algernon.
But my own sweet, loving little darling, I find there's no reason at all for you to object to the name of Algernon. Algernon's not a bad name at all. In fact, it's a rather aristocratic name. Half the chaps that get into the bankruptcy court are called Algernon. Seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algie, couldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character. But I fear I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Cecily, your rector here, I suppose, is thoroughly experienced in all the rites and ceremonials of the church?
Oh yes, Dr. Chasuble is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can only imagine how much he knows.
I'll see him at once on the most important christening. I mean, on most important business.
Oh.
I shan't be away for no more than half an hour, my love.
Considering that we've been engaged since February 14th, and I've only met you today for the first time, I feel it is rather hard that you should leave me so long a period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back as soon as I can.
What an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. Oh, I must enter his proposal into my diary.
Miss Fairfax is called to see Mr. Worthing. Very important business, Mr. Worthing, Miss Fairfax states.
Oh, is it Mr. Worthing's library?
Mr. Worthing went in the directory some time ago.
Pray, ask the lady to come out here. Mr. Worthing is sure to be back soon. Oh, and you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax, I suppose one of the many good elderly women who are associated with Uncle Jack in some of his philanthropic work in London. Oh, I don't quite like women who are interested in philanthropic work. I think you're so forward of them.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew? What a very sweet name. Something tells me we're going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we have known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray, sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you'll always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
Well, then that's all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this is a favourable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father's Lord Bradford. You've never heard of my father, for instance.
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa's entirely unknown. I'm glad to say, I think that's quite as it should be. It seems to me that the home is the proper sphere for the man. And certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so terribly attractive. Cecily, Mamma, whose views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be mind if I look at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolyn. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You're here on a short visit.
Oh no, I live here.
Really? Well, no natural mother or some female relation of advanced years resides here with you, also?
Oh no, I have no mother, nor in fact any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I'm Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh. He never mentioned anything about having a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I can't say that this news fills me with feelings of unmixed delight. I'm very fond of you, sis. I've liked you ever since I met you. However, I'm bound to state, now that I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, well, I can't help express a wish that you were a bit older than you appear to be, not so very alluring in appearance. But if I may speak quite candidly.
Pray to you, I think that whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, I wish you were fully 42, and more than usually plain for your age. You see, Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He's the very soul of truth and honor. But even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influences of the physical charms of others. Modern, no less ancient history is filled with many painful examples of what I referred to, and were it not so, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon. Gwendolyn, did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
He never said anything about having a brother.
I am sorry to say they have not been on good terms for a long time.
That accounts for it. Although, come to think of it, I don't think I've ever heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful for us, then. Cecily, I've lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. Oh, it would be terrible if a cloud came across a friendship like ours, wouldn't it? But you are quite sure it's not Mr. Ernest Worthing who's your guardian?
Quite sure. In fact, I am going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, I think there must be some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post no later than Saturday.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
Well, it's certainly very curious. For he asked me to be his wife yesterday at 5:30. If you'd care to verify the incident, please do so. I never travel without my diary. One must always have something sensational to read on the train. I'm so sorry to disappoint you, darling Cecily, but it appears I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he clearly has changed his mind.
The poor fellow has been entrapped into a foolish promise. I should consider it my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got into, I will never reproach him with it, after we are married.
Do you allude to me as an entertainment, Miss Carter? You are presumptuous. On an occasion such as this, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
So do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
Oh, well, I'm glad to say I've never even seen a state. It's clear that our social spheres have been widely different.
Hello to you as usual, miss.
Yes, as usual.
Are there many interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh yes, a great many. From the top of one of the hills quite close, one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? Don't think I'd like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that is why you live in town?
Well-kept garden this is, Miss Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
Flowers in the country. New.
I guess flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I don't know how anybody manages to exist in the country. I mean, if anybody is, anybody does. The country always bores me to death.
This must be what the newspapers call agricultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy are suffering from it very much just at present. It is almost an epidemic amongst them, I have been told. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Thank you.
Test?
I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar's not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter? Cake's rarely seen in best houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
Yes, miss.
Filled my tea with lots of sugar. And then I asked most distinctly for bread and butter. You've given me cake. I'm known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature. But I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
Well, to save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt you were false and deceitful. I'm never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I am trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighborhood.
Oh, Ernest!
Gwendolyn, darling.
Oh, my own Ernest. A moment. Are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To dear little Cecily? No, of course not. What could have put such an idea in your pretty little head?
Thank you.
I knew there must be some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is at present around your waist is my dear guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon.
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack?
Oh. Oh, here's Ernest.
smart. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
Mr. I felt there was some slight error. The gentleman currently embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief. Algernon. I cannot deny it.
Is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny anything if I liked. But my name most certainly is John. It has been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
What poor wounded Cecily.
Oh, my sweet, long, darling.
You will call me sister, won't you?
There is just one question I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
An admirable idea. Mr. Webbing, where is your brother Ernest? We are both engaged to be married to your brother Ernest, so it's a matter of some importance to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwen. Cecily. It is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. In fact, it's the first time in my life I've ever been reduced to such a painful position, and I really am inexperienced in doing anything of the kind. But I will tell you quite frankly that I never had a brother Ernest. I never had any brother at all. I never intend to have a brother, not even of any kind.
No brother. At all.
Nope,
Had you never a brother of any kind?
never. Not even of any kind.
Well, Cecily, it's quite clear that neither one of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It is not a very pleasant position for any young girl to suddenly find herself in, is it?
Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to follow us there.
No. Men are so cowardly, aren't they?
I suppose this ghastly state of affairs is what you call bunburying, huh?
Yes. And what a wonderful Bunbury it is. It is the most wonderful Bunbury I've ever had in my entire life.
You have no right to Bunbury here.
That is absurd. One has a right to Bunbury wherever one chooses. Every serious Bunburyist knows that.
Serious Bunburys. Good heavens.
Well, one must be serious about something if one wants any amusement out of life. I happen to be serious about Bunburying. But what on earth you're serious about, I haven't the remotest idea. About everything, I should fancy. Because you have such an absolutely trivial nature.
The only small satisfaction I get from the whole of this wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country so often as you used to do, Algie, and a good thing, too.
Your brother is looking a little off color, isn't he, dear Jack? You won't be able to go into town quite so often as your wicked custom was, and not a bad thing either.
As for your conduct towards Miss Cardew, I find your taking in of a kind, sweet, innocent girl like that perfectly inexcusable, and that's to say nothing of the fact that she is my ward.
I can see no possible defense for your deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady as Miss Fairfax, and to say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I simply want to be engaged to Gwendolyn. That is all. I love her.
But I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of you being engaged to Miss Cardew.
Well, I don't think there's much likelihood of you and Miss Fairfax ever being united, dear Jack.
Well, that is no business of yours.
If it was my business, I wouldn't talk about it. Very vulgar to talk about one's own business. Only people like stockbrokers do that. And then merely at dinner parties.
How you can sit there, calmly eating muffins, when we are in this horrible trouble, I simply cannot understand. You seem to me to be perfectly heartless.
Well, I can't eat muffins in an agitated manner. The mother would probably get on my cuffs. one's going to eat muffins, one must be very calm when eating muffins. It's the only way to eat them.
I say it's perfectly heartless that you're eating muffins at all under the circumstances.
Well, when I'm in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. Indeed, when I'm in truly great trouble, as anyone who intimately knows me will tell you, I refuse everything except for food and drink. And right now, I'm eating muffins. Because I'm unhappy. Besides, I'm particularly fond of muffins.
Well, that is no reason you should be eating them in that greedy way.
Have some tea cake. I don't like tea cake.
Good heavens. I suppose a man may eat his own muffins in his own garden.
Yes, but you just said it was perfectly heartless to be eating muffins.
I said it was perfectly heartless of you under the circumstances.
Well, that may be, but the muffins are the same.
Algie, I wish to goodness you would go.
You cannot possibly ask me to go yet. I haven't had my dinner. Nobody goes there having a dinner except for vegetarians, people like that. Besides, I had just made arrangements to be christened by Dr. Chasuble at 5:45 under the name of Earnest.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble myself this morning to be christened at 5:30, and I naturally would be taking the name of Earnest. Gwendolyn would wish it. We can't both be christened Earnest. That would be absurd. And besides, I have a perfect right to get christened if I so choose. There's no evidence at all that I was ever christened by anyone, and I believe it highly probable I never was. Dr. Chasuble thinks so as well. You, my friend, are a completely different story. You have been christened already.
Yes, but I haven't been christened in years.
Yes, but you have been christened.
Quite so. So I know my constitution can handle it. I must say, dear boy, if you've never been christened, I find it rather dangerous you're going up to venture on it now. It might make you unwell. Need I remind you, dear Jack, that somebody very closely connected to you was recently carried off in Paris by severe chill.
Yes, but you said yourself that a severe chill wasn't hereditary.
It used to be, I know, but I dare say it is now. Science is always coming up with wonderful improvements and things.
That is nonsense. You're always speaking nonsense.
Jack, you're at the muffins again. I wish to goodness you wouldn't. I told you, I'm particularly fond of muffins. There are only 2 left.
But I hate tea cake.
Then why do you serve tea cake for your guests? What ideas you have of hospitality?
I have already asked you to go, Algernon. I don't want you here. Why won't you go?
I haven't quite finished my tea yet. And besides, there's only 1 muffin left.
The fact that they did not follow at once into the house as anyone else would have done seems to me to show they have some sense of shame left.
They have been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us at all. Look at you cough.
But I haven't got a cough.
They're looking at us. What a flattery.
They're approaching. That is very forward of them.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly. It's the only thing to do now.
This dignified silence produces an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing! I have something very particular to ask you, and much depends on your reply.
Gwendolyn, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I might have the opportunity of meeting you.
That certainly seems a satisfactory explanation. Does it not?
Yes, dear, if you can believe him.
Oh, I don't. But that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True. In matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother? Was it so that you might have every opportunity of coming into town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the gravest doubts on the subject, but I intend to crush them. Now's not the time for German skepticism. The explanation certainly seems satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing. That's satisfactory.
I am more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. His voice alone inspires one with absolute credulity.
So you think you should forgive them?
Yes. I mean, no.
True, there are principles at stake. One simply cannot surrender. Which one of us is going to tell them? The task is not a pleasant one.
Can we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. You'll take time for it.
Certainly.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names. Is that all?
But we are going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, you're going to do this terrible thing.
I am.
To please me, you're ready to face this fearful ordeal.
I am.
How absurd to talk about equality of the sexes. When matters of self-sacrifice are concerned, men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
They have moments of physical courage of which we women know absolutely nothing.
Darling.
Darling.
Maybe practical.
Good heavens!
Gwendolyn, what does this mean?
Merely that I'm engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing.
Come here. Sit down. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young, the physical weakness in the old. Apprised, sir, of my daughter's sudden flight by her trusty maid, whose confidence I obtained by means of a small coin, I followed her immediately by a luggage train. Her unhappy father is, I am glad to say, under the impression that she is attending a more than usually lengthy lecture by the University Extension Scheme on the influence of permanent income on thought. I do not plan to undeceive him. In fact, I have never undeceived him on any question. I would consider it wrong. But you must clearly know that any communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately. On that point, as indeed on all points, I am firm.
I am engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell.
Oh, you are nothing of the sort. As regards Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
may I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, resides?
No. Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at the present. In fact, Bunbury's dead.
Dead? Well, when did he die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I mean,
Poor Bunbury. Died this afternoon.
Well, what did he die of?
Bunbury, he was quite exploded.
Slowly. Was he the victim of a revolutionary outrage? I had no idea that Mr. Bunbury was involved with social legislation. And if that is true, then he is indeed punished for his morbidity.
My dear Aunt Augusta, what I mean to say is that Bunbury was found out. I mean, the doctors found out that Bunbury could not live. That's what I mean. So Bunbury died.
Well, he must have had great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. However, I am glad to hear that he finally made up his mind at the last to some sort of action and acted according to his physician's dictates. And now that we have gotten rid of this Mr. Bunbury, may I ask Mr. Worthing, who is that young person whose hand my nephew Algernon is holding in a peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I am engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married.
I don't know if there's anything peculiarly exciting in the air in this particular part of Hertfordshire, but it seems to me that the number of engagements that goes on is considerably higher than a percentage that statistics would have down for our guidance. Now, I do not think that a preliminary inquiry on my part would be out of place. May I ask Mr. Worthing if Miss Cardew is in any way connected to any of the larger railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any families or persons whose origin was a terminus.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of Mr. Thomas Cardew of 149 Belgrave Square, Southwest, Gervase Park, Dorking, Surrey, and the Sporran, Fifeshire, North Britain.
Well, that sounds not unsatisfactory. 3 addresses always inspire confidence, even in tradesmen. But what proof of either authenticity?
I have carefully preserved the court guides of the period, Lady Bracknell. They are open to your inspection.
Oh yes, I have seen strange errors in that publication.
Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. Markby, and Markby.
Markby, and Markby. A firm of the very highest position in their profession. Indeed, I am told that one of the Mr. Markbys is occasionally to be seen at dinner parties. So far, I'm satisfied.
How extremely generous of you, Lady Bracknell. I also have, in my possession, you will be happy to hear, records of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, confirmation, vaccination, and the measles, both the German and English varieties.
A life crowded with incident, I see. Though somewhat perhaps too exciting for a young girl. I myself do not believe in premature experiences. Gwendolyn?
it is almost time for our departure. We must leave right away. As a matter of form, Mr. Worthing, I might ask if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
Merely £130,000 in the funds. That is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
A moment, Mr. Worthing. £130,000, and in the funds. Well, it seems to me that Miss Cardew is a very attractive young lady now that I look at her. Oh, there are so few girls of the present day with any really solid qualities, any of the qualities that last and improve with time. We live, I regret to say, in an age of services. Come here, sweet child. Well, your dress is sadly simple. Oh, and your hair is almost as nature would have left it. Oh, but we can fix all of that. A thoroughly experienced French maid, can work marvelous results in a very brief span of time. I remember recommending one to young Lady Lansing. In 3 months, her own husband did not know her.
And in 6 months, nobody knew her.
Turn around, dear. No, the side profile. Yes, that's right. Oh, well, just as I expected. Yes, there are great social possibilities in your profile. Oh, yes. The 2 weak points of our society today are its lack of principle and its lack of profile. Oh, well. Algernon?
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
Miss Cardew has great social possibilities in her profile.
Cecily is the dearest, prettiest, sweetest girl in my entire life, and I've never cared tuppence about social possibilities.
Oh, never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only people who can't get into it do that. Well, my dear, I suppose you know that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend on. Oh, but I don't believe in mercenary marriages. I mean, when I married Lord Blacknell, I had no fortune of any kind, but I never dreamed of allowing that to stand in my way. Well, I suppose I must give my consent.
Oh, thank you, Aunt Augusta.
You may kiss me.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
And you must always refer to me as Aunt Augusta in the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Well, the marriage, I think, should take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Yes, I am, to be quite frank. I'm not fond of long engagements. It gives people a chance to get to know each other's character before marriage. And I think that's never advisable.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but I am Miss Cardew's guardian, and she cannot marry without my consent until she legally comes of age. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
On what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I almost might say ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more can one desire?
It pains me very much to speak frankly with you about your own nephew, Lady Bracknell, but I don't approve at all of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? Algernon? Impossible! He graduated from Oxford.
I'm sorry to say that the matter is most definite, Lady Bracknell. This afternoon, during my temporary absence in London on an important question of romance, he obtained admission to my house under the false pretense of being my brother. Under an assumed name, he drank I'm just being told by my butler. An entire pint bottle of my Perrier Jouet Brut 89. A wine I was reserving specifically for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded in the course of the afternoon of alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed for tea and devoured every single muffin! And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he did all of this knowing from the start that I had no brother, that I never had a brother, and that I never intend to have a brother, not even of any kind. I distinctly told him so myself yesterday afternoon.
Well, Mr. Worthing, under careful consideration, I have decided to totally overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
How extremely kind of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision, however, remains unalterable. I refuse to give my consent.
Come here, sweet child. Now, how old are you?
Well, I'm really only 18, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
18. Well, you are perfectly right in making some slight alteration. No woman should ever be quite accurate about her age. It looks so calculated. Now, 18 but admitting to 20 at dinner parties. Well, it'll be very soon when you will in fact be of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So therefore, I do not think your guardian's consent is really a matter of any importance.
I am so sorry for interrupting you again, Lady Bracknell, but according to the will of Mr. Thomas Cardew, Cecily does not legally come of age until she is 35.
That doesn't seem to me to be a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. I know many women in London society of the highest birth who have, of their own choice, remained 35 for years. Take Miss Lady Dumbleton, for an instance. I mean, to my own knowledge, she has remained 35 since she was the age of 40, and that was many years ago now. And I think 35, Miss Cardew will be even more attractive than she is now. And there'll be a large accumulation of wealth.
Algie, could you wait for me till I was 35?
Of course I could, Cecily. You know I could.
Yes, I felt it instinctively. But I couldn't wait all that time. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody. It always makes me rather cross. Now, I'm not punctual myself, I know. But I do like punctuality in others. And waiting, even to be married, is quite out of the question.
Then what is to be done, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
Well, Mr. Worthing, as Miss Cardew positively states that she cannot wait until she is 35, a remark which I am bound to say seems to me to show a somewhat impatient nature, I would beg you to reconsider your decision.
But, Lady Bracknell, the decision is entirely in your hands. The moment you consent to my engagement to Gwendolen, I will most certainly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You know that is quite impossible. That is not a proposal that I can accept.
And it seems that passionate celibacy is all that awaits any of us.
That is not the future that I propose for my Gwendolen. Algernon can do as he wishes. Gwendolen, we really must get to the station. I mean, we've already missed 5 or 6 trains. If we miss any more, then we open ourselves up to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christenings? Is that not somewhat premature?
Both of these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age? The idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon,
I refuse to let you be baptized. I will not hear of such excesses. If Lord Bracknell heard of this, he would be most displeased to hear that this is the way that you intended to spend your time and money.
Am I to understand, then, that there are to be no christenings this afternoon? I don't think it would be of much practical use to either of us, Dr. Chasuble. I'm grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. Well, they savor of present views of the Anabaptists. Views that I have completely refuted in 4 of my unpublished sermons. However, as your present mood seems to be one peculiarly distressing, I will return to the church at once. Indeed, I have just been informed by the pew opener that for the last hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Prism? Did you say Miss Prism?
Oh, yes, Lady Bracknell, I am on my way to join her.
Oh, please allow me to detain you for a moment, for this matter might prove of great importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism, a woman of repellent aspect, in any way connected to education?
Oh, she is the most cultivated of ladies and the very picture of respectability.
Yes, it's certainly the same person. Sir, may I ask what position she holds in your household?
Oh, I am a celibate, madam.
Miss Prism, Lady Bracknell, for the last 3 years has served as Miss Cardew's admirable governess and valued companion.
But in spite of what I hear, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
Oh, she approaches. She is nigh.
I was told you expected me in the glass studio, Candy. I've been waiting there for you for 1 hour and 3/4.
Prism! Come here. Prism. Prism. Where is that baby? 28 years ago, you left Lord Bracknell's house on 104 Grosvenor Square in charge of a perambulator that contained a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, after the extensive elaborations and investigations of the Metropolitan Police, this perambulator was found by itself at midnight in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume novel of revolting sentimentality. The baby was not there. Where is that baby? Prism!
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that will forever be branded in my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in this perambulator. I had also with me a somewhat old but capacious handbag in which I had intended to place the manuscript of a work of fiction I had completed during my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction, for which I never can forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
Where did you deposit that handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you deposited the handbag that you deposited that infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria. The Brighton line.
I must retire to my room for a moment. Gwendolyn, you will wait for me.
Oh, if you're not too long, I'll wait here for you my whole life.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
Oh, I dare not even suspect Dr. Chasuble. I mean, I need hardly tell you that, well, that any kind of strange coincidences of this kind are not supposed to happen with families of position. I mean, they are hardly considered the thing.
Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian has a very emotional nature.
Oh, that sound is extremely unpleasant. It sounds like he's having an argument. And I hate arguments of any kind. They are always vulgar and often convincing.
Oh, it has stopped now.
I wish you would come to some conclusion.
The suspense is terrible. I hope it will not.
Is this the handbag in which you lost? Pray, examine it carefully. The happiness of more than one life depends on your answer.
Seems to be mine. Yes, here is the injury received through the upsetting of a Gower Street omnibus. Never in happy days. Here is the stain on the line, caused by the explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident that occurred at Leamington. And here, on the lock, are my initials. I had forgotten that in an extravagant mood I had had them placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I'm delighted to have it unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience being without it for all these years.
More is restored to you than just that handbag, Miss Prism. I was the baby you placed in it.
You?
Yes. Mother!
Mr. Worthing! I am unmarried.
Unmarried? I do admit that is a serious blow. But who am I to cast a stone at one who has suffered? And cannot repentance wipe out an act of folly? Why must it be one law for man and another for woman? Mother, I forgive you!
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to sound inquisitive, but could you kindly inform me as to who I am?
Well, the news that I'm about to give you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother! I always knew I had a brother! Cecily, how could you have ever doubted that I had a brother? Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. Algy, you must treat me with more respect in the future. You've never once treated me like a brother in all your life.
Well, not till today, old boy, I admit.
I did my best, however. Well, I was out of practice.
My own one. Oh, but what are you? That is, what is your Christian name now that you've become someone else?
Oh, good heavens. I had completely forgotten that fact. Your decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affection. What a noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
Well, then we had better well get that cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, a moment. At the time of Miss Prism depositing me into the handbag, had I been christened already?
Every luxury that money could buy was lavished upon you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened. That settles that up. Now, what name was I given? Give me the worst of it.
Well, as the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
But what was my father's Christian name?
Well, I can't seem to remember at this present moment what the general's Christian name was. I'm sure he had one. I mean, he was a bit eccentric, I admit, but, well, that was in his later years, and largely the result of the Indian climate and marriage and indigestion and other things of that kind.
Oh, Algy, you must recall our father's Christian name.
My dear boy, I'm sorry to say, but we were never even on speaking terms. He died when I was just a year old.
The amulet of the period. His name would appear on those.
Well, the general was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life. But his name should appear in any military directory.
The amulets of the last 40 years are here. These delightful records should have been my constant study. M. Generals. Mallow, Maxbone, Madley. What ghastly names they all have. Markby, Migsby, Moulds, Moncrief. Lieutenant, 1814. Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, General, 1869. Christian names, Earnest John. Well, it actually is Earnest. I mean, it naturally is Earnest.
Oh, yes, I remember now the general was called Earnest. I knew I had some reason for disliking the name.
Oh, my own Ernest. I felt from the start he could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it is a terrible thing for a man to learn that he has been speaking the truth his entire life. Can you ever forgive me?
I can, for I feel you're sure to change.
My own one.
Letitia.
Frederick, at last.
Cecily, at last.
Gwendolyn, at last.
Why, nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, for the first time in my life, I finally understand the vital importance of being earnest.